What's up, everybody? This is Dan from the Fundamentals with another video for the week of Pandemonium. This one is going to be a look at all of the maps that were featured in the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus Platinum Edition from Beadle Grimm. Most of them are going to be included in the upcoming Descent into Avernus Silver Edition. You can learn more about that one below. Most of the battle maps, except for the Hellwasp Double-Sider, Hellwasp Nest, Idle Glen, they're going to be missing, as well as the Bone Brambles Maze, Freaky Deaky. They're not going to be included, but the rest of them you're going to see are included in the Silver Edition, including the beautiful, beautiful maps. You can see one here of El Turel, as well as the one for Avernus and the one for Baldur's Gate. So in this video, I'm going to be doing kind of a weird thing. I don't know if it'll work, so I'm going to pan across all of them, and I'll give you a close-up look at every map, and I'll be using a few different figures for scale, so you can see the battle maps where your figures would fit in, as well as these maps that are beautiful, and try to zoom in on some details. Just talk about where they fit into the context of the adventure as best I can. Some spoilers I'll try to avoid, but some are unavoidable. So, without further ado, let's go to the first one. Alright, so we're going to do these in roughly chronological order for the Descent into Avernus adventure, starting with the Baldur's Gate map. Now this is printed on, like most of the maps, on that kind of thick, kind of glossy kind of paper that they use for a lot of their stuff, but it has the entire city of Baldur's Gate as it appears in the Descent into Avernus adventure. It's probably one of the more versatile maps in there because it is useful for basically anyone who's working with the Forgotten Realms setting in this time period. Obviously, if you're going to go back to previous editions, it's been around for a while, or even times of the video games, you're going to have trouble because it's changed a little bit. But as this is a existing city, there's a lot going on, and obviously if you look in the Gazetteer in the Descent of the Avernus book, you can see how every one of these places has some sort of detail in it. Obviously you don't go to all of them in the adventure, but you go to a lot of them. And it's of course laid out like a regular map. This is just the one from the book. You can see worms crossing the water. But it's a nice, thick thing. The back is white. It's very frameable, water resistant, very nice. Next up is the Elf Song Tavern, the first of the battle maps they've included. And it's this is where the adventure sort of kicks off, but it's also the most sort of central location in Baldur's Gate with a lot of intrigue. It's not too fancy, it's not too crappy. Obviously it's not going to be the main haunt. There's a whole lot of places, but this one is very, very detailed. As you can see, it's built to hold a decent amount of people. This is the upper level. Then down here is lower level, with more chairs, more seats, all kinds of stuff. Walls, super detailed. It's even got a lovely fireplace. So as a DM and as a player, you can more easily envision. It even has the outside parts of the ground level, so you can see what you're exploring. On the back of that is the Vanthampur Villa, I don't know. Via that you go to as part of the adventure as you're investigating the mystery. This top part is the second floor. Now, unlike the maps of Baldur's Gate, which we just saw, and the ones we will see, these are made of a much not quite as laminate paper. It's still very heavy duty stock, but it's not it is not quite as sturdy and not as waterproof. You can see, very fancy. This is the second floor, and then you can see under the via here, you can see the sewer, the room here. Then the second floor under the via, the beds, and all that stuff. Again, really nice, really well set up. So next up is a graveyard chapel map. I've decided to use figurines from my copy of Kingdom Hearts Talisman again, of Goofy, Donald, and Sora, to show the general scale of a mini on these battle maps. Show the detail on them, show where they fit in, how that kind of works. You can see the breakdown of where cover would be, where holes are, that kind of thing. You can see Donald would have cover behind those two coffins from over here. There's lots of skulls, lots of skeletons, spooky. More stuff going on. There's Sora standing by a broken glass window, broken pews, all kinds of stuff. It's messed up. And then over there is an unholy gateway. I'm sure we'll go somewhere that's not scary at all. Start underneath that with the Hell Rider crypt. It's a smaller one. There's Goofy. Get all the little roses, all the little remnants of the Hell Rider crypt. A bone pit, and I love there's little details all over these maps, like that skull there, that make it so it's not just sketched out. It's something that's a bit more interesting to be exploring. You feel that you're there. There's Donald about to descend into the Graveyard Workshop, which has a Pit of Souls, straight out of Hercules. There's Sora, more crypts, a lot of freaky deaky stuff. One cool thing about this map and the one on the other side of it is that the compass rose is shaped like a spooky skeleton with skull with too many teeth. You never can have too many teeth. Now we get the second city map of El Turel. Now, unlike the Baldur's Gate map, which is marked, this is not as marked and not quite as big scale-wise. Not as zoomed in, but it gives you a vague idea, not a vague idea, a really good idea of the state of El Turel, Baldur's Gate's sister city that has fallen into Avernus. The compass rose on this is just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, that's so cool. And it's fun because it just says, ha, you don't know what direction is. But it's a gorgeous map. I love this map. Because it just, it sticks out. It doesn't have any muted colors. It almost looks like a Japanese art. The way the flames and the smoke is rendered. The way it swirls around. I really like this map. Again, the Baldur's Gate map and the Avernus map are all extremely frameable maps if you want to put them up in your house or apartment or cardboard box that you live in on the street, which, no judgment, you gotta make that thing look nice. But yeah, you can see it's seen better days. You can zoom in and see stuff's on fire. I don't know if that's lava or fire. Neither is good. Neither is wanted. But all kinds of wild stuff. Bridges over the little thing there. People are burning. People aren't having a good time. It happens. Now this isn't on as thick paper. It's still one-sided. It's actually neither the thicker cardstock type paper or the thicker water-resistant paper that the Baldur's Gate and Avernus are on. It's on just kind of a glossy poster paper. So it's not going to quite as hold up to wear and tear as the other two, but it's also not quite as important. It's still nice and not like slick, but it's still nice. But it's also not going to quite be as used as the other ones because it's so not a big part of the adventure. The Big Bad map itself, probably my favorite in the box, my favorite map out of the book, Avernus itself. Now, not only is this map cool because, of course, hell is cool, but because it has so much Hieronymus Bosch in it. Now, I don't want to be fruity-tooty with that, but it just really looks and draws on a lot of both medieval and Renaissance depictions of hell, the underworld, nefarious beings, and all that kind of stuff, mixed in, of course, with some D&D flair, bits of other things. We can see rivers of blood, penitence, dark buildings, ruins that you drive through. Sorry for the glare. A giant dragon skull. Some great embellishments you can see there. With a spooky guy with a sword in his mouth. All along the edge here you can see there's this cool, it looks like an Illumination manuscript. Got like some guy circling an obelisk. All along the side here. It's kind of Celtic, very medieval. The big spooky thing here. This leads into, there's a palm there. We have a Hell Rider here with her robe, sad and crying because she's a Hell Rider. Another spooky guy there looking like the Lich from Adventure Time. More ruins. Remember, this is a war-torn hellscape. So there's just ruins and wrecks all over the place. Some floaty demon boys. Cool features, there's these symbols that are in the abyssal language that are kind of strewn about. There's a skeleton there. Big glowy thingy. Hits of darkness, fire, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it has influences. You can see with the way these halos, it looks almost like an illuminated, an Orthodox icon. There's a spooky guy in a cloud. These letters obviously correspond to things in the book, which you can compare them. You can see they have names, they have titles. Big scary mountain, all kinds of cool stuff. There's a big demon there. Devil, I should say, not demon. They're very different. But yeah, this is just a very, very cool map. And it is printed on the same material as the Baldur's Gate map. So it's that kind of thick, water-resistant material. One quick detail on the sides here is over here there's a blue glowing thing, and then over here there's a red thing being grabbed, and up in the corner there's a symbol over there, and a symbol down here by the title. It's a very, very, very cool map. Probably the one, if I'm going to get any of them framed, it'll be this one. But there's still more battle maps. Here we have the Scab. Up top here is not part of the whole thing, it's just some cool art of devils flying around, chains, and a citadel. But then you get actually into the thing, you can see it's very different from the Baldur's Gate located one. There's Goofy on a plinth marked with runes or eldritch words or just abyssal. There's lots of skulls and skeletons both strewn about and kind of merged with the walls. Lots of big spiky chains. You can see, everything's very different. They rendered the walls and how everything looks. And it just looks different and gross. And you don't want that. Look over here. There's this massive spiky chain pit. So that as a player or as a DM, your players get a really good sense of where they are and what they're doing. Donald's currently drowning in a pit of blood. There's Sora just kind of watching his shadow. Just a very, very cool thing. And again, it's on the smaller paper. And it's on the thicker, more fragile. Now this map is really cool. It's a wrecked flying fortress, one of the diabolical things you can find in Avernus, part of the adventure. And this is not a ruin. This is a freaking bloodbath. And look at the bloodstains and the spikes and the chains. You can see the machines, the mechanical bits of this have gone just broken and beaten, and there's the organic matter and stuff everywhere. And then you can look at 5 feet, you can see there's Sora. You can see all the little things, bits and bobs. There's symbols on the ground, magic. things, symbols in abyssal, not abyssal, infernal. Big symbol in the middle there. And it's just a really cool thing to walk through. And then down below, underneath it, because it's wrecked and flying, there's the kind of churning, bloody darkness, not darkness, chaos of the war-torn Avernus. Just a cool thing to battle on. Everything's getting a little weird. This is the Bone Brambles. It's kind of hard to see, and I'm sorry, but it's this giant, freaky-deaky maze in Avernus that's very hard to tell even when you have it in proper lighting. But you can see all that kind of stuff. A big, scary compass road with spike with knives and a skull. But you can see it's all these brambles filled with random bits of light. It's gonna get lost in the ground. Looks like it's made of like meat and flesh. It's built up. You can see at the middle there is Goofy standing on a pile of random things. But then you can see Vasora there. You can see him standing. So you just barely fit in. It's not quite a full 5-foot square. And 1 inch equals 5 feet. Just a little twig there for you. And then if you zoom out, you can see. Oh, Nelly. It's a lot. Oh boy, it's a lot. This is the Hell Wasp nest. And this one is a doozy. Because they've had to capture both the feeling of hell, you can see with like a fallen angel there, and a wasp nest. So there's all these honeycombed structures that you're kind of operating within, and crystallized who knows what, and craters and bones, and it's broken up into levels. This is level 2. There's that spooky Avernus Compass Rose. Level 4, where it gets even freaking spookier. And they have, you can see the tunnels here, they have that kind of papery material that you would expect from a wasp nest. And level 3, more of that. And more wings, and you can see in there that's like kind of like their honey or their amber, they've got angels and who knows what's stuck in it, just sitting there waiting. But yeah, it departs a little bit from the previous ones, but you'll see it still has the 5x5 structure, so that your party can still adventure through it and get a very good breakdown of how it would look. The town of Beadle Grimm is the last map we have, which kind of splits the difference between the city maps and the battle maps. From earlier is a town that was ravaged by devils, quote-unquote saved by Zaria, and is now kind of on fire. And we're seeing this in this kind of shardy, burned out kind of vision kind of look to it. It's on the same paper as the other ones. It's not double-sided. And it's kind of unique. It doesn't have that close-up feel from the other battle maps, nor is it as zoomed out as the city maps. It's also a bit more CGI as opposed to drawn, because like the fires there look almost photorealistic. It's in with more drawn things there. But again, very cool thing. And all the it's ringed by this photo distressed paper. Alright, so that is all of them. You can check out the link below for more about the Silver Edition, and to check again all the contents that you saw with these maps, as well as several other little goodies they put in. Please give it a look. It's a really cool thing. Not as expensive, so if you missed out on the Platinum, it's a great way to get in on that. You can also check out other videos on this channel for some other things that are featured in that, as well as their previous boxes, including the Gold Edition of Eberron and the Silver Edition of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Also, please comment below. Tell me what you thought of this video. If you'd like to see more map videos like this, or if there's a way I could do this better, please tell me. It's the only way I can get better. Or don't tell me. Whatever. Keep it to yourself. See if I care. It's up to you. There's Tumbledown. Anyway, keep an eye out for that. And keep an eye out for more videos on Beadle Grimm. And the Beadle Grimm Week of Pandemonium continues tomorrow with a special behind-the-scenes look. You didn't hear that from me. Anyway, happy gaming.